The year 2021 marks the centenary of the founding of the Communist Party of China and the 72nd anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. Over the past 100 years, the CPC has united Chinese people and led the Chinese people to strive for national freedom and independence, built socialism with Chinese characteristics, and achieved the building of a moderately prosperous society in all respects. COVID-19 pandemic has not stopped China's progress. We have quickly brought the pandemic under control and maintained economic growth and social stability. Now China has embarked on a new journey to comprehensively build a modern socialist country. China's stability and growth have brought the world infinite opportunities for common development. China will unswervingly implement high-level opening up policy. The concept of building a community with a shared future for mankind provides a new global governance philosophy for all countries to achieve peaceful and cooperative development. The high-level cooperation of Belt and Road Initiative provides development opportunities for all participating countries based on the principles of extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, the peoples and governments of both China and the Philippines have helped each other to fight the pandemic, focus on cooperation to restore economy, which is a continuation and enhancement of our long-standing history of friendship. Chinese Consulate General in Davao has been striving to promote friendly exchanges and pragmatic cooperation between China and Mindanao since its establishment 3 years ago, and trying to make these exchanges and cooperation felt by the peoples of both sides. The Consulate General is committed to actively continuing China-Philippine anti-pandemic endeavor, promoting the implementation of key bilateral projects, deepening people-to-people and culture exchanges, and providing efficient, attentive, and quality consular services to all Chinese compatriots in Mindanao.
At the inauguration ceremony on October 2018, China's State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi stated that the Chinese Consulate General in Davao was set up to demonstrate China's firm determination to strengthen cooperation with the Philippines and to bring benefit to the peoples. At the beginning of the Chinese New Year in 2021, the Chinese Consulate General and Chinese enterprises in Mindanao jointly purchased food items packaged in friendship bags to help some of the economically marginalized people affected by the pandemic. With COVID-19's great impact on the education sector, students cannot go to school and have to stay at home learning online. Some indigent families have no access to computer, and online learning has become an impossible task for them. The Consulate General donated Huawei laptops to 310 families through the Davao City government under the Student Siblings Laptop Sharing Project. The Sprout Award Scholarship was also implemented shortly after to grant financial aid to 40 outstanding indigent students in the Davao region. To provide assistance to the Philippine National Police in its goal to promote and maintain urban security, the Consulate General donated 43 police motorcycles to the different LGUs in Mindanao. The Consulate General hosted its first short video contest with the theme of Stay Strong Together on its Facebook page, providing an avenue for more young Filipinos to have a better understanding of the cooperation between China and the Philippines in the fight against the pandemic. Economic and trade cooperation are the cornerstones of China-Philippine relations. The sound momentum of China-Philippines economic and trade cooperation has been further strengthened. China remains the Philippines' largest trading partner and source of imports, and has become its second largest export market. Several projects in Mindanao are currently in steady progression, such as the Dito Telecom project. In terms of infrastructure, the Samal Island Davao Connector Bridge project has completed the signing of the commercial contract and will soon enter the loan agreement stage. More and more Chinese state-owned companies and private investors have come to invest in Mindanao. China State Engineering and Construction Group of the Cotabato KCC Shopping Mall. The New Hope Group has landed in Davao del Norte. Sanja Steel Company, Xiamen Ruihe Electronics, and 9G Teco all are operating smoothly, contributing to the development of Mindanao's export-oriented economy. The Chinese Consulate General in Davao has maintained and strengthened bilateral exchanges and cooperation with the Mindanao Development Authority, the Philippine National Economic Development Agency Region 11 Office, and the Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry to actively explore bilateral cooperation in agriculture, education, information technology, and other potential areas for fruitful collaboration. In July, Hainan Council for Promotion of Foreign Economic Cooperation and Exchange signed a strategic cooperation agreement with Davao City Chamber of Commerce and Industry. As China-Philippines economic and trade cooperation deepens and fortifies, more opportunities for cooperation arise, which will contribute to the economic recovery and the improvement of people's livelihood in the Philippines. The friendship between countries lies in the affinity between the people. The Consulate General has been deeply involved in projects with local governments, schools, communities, and organizations to promote China-Philippine friendship. Since the beginning of this year, the Consulate General has been actively interacting with local colleges and universities, expanding communication channels between the higher education institutions in Mindanao and those in China, building platforms for friendly exchanges and cooperation in education and culture, and enhancing mutual trust and exchange through forums, book donations, and professional lectures. Chinese culture has a wide influence in Mindanao, and the Spring Festival is also acknowledged and celebrated in Davao City. On this Chinese New Year's Eve, the Chinese Consulate General donated 2 zodiac oxen sculptures to the Davao City government and placed them in front of the City Hall for the public to see and take photos with. In addition, the Chinese Consulate General worked together with the Confucius Institute of the Ateneo de Davao University to organize a Chinese language and cultural exchange training course for local government officials to promote bilateral cultural exchange and educational cooperation. In order to protect our common home on earth, the Chinese Consulate General and the Philippine Eagle Foundation jointly produced a 16-episode animated short film series to help educate and raise the awareness of the Filipino youth about the protection of endangered eagles and other animals in the Philippine ecosystem. As the official representative of the Chinese government in Mindanao, it is one of the integral responsibilities of the Chinese Consulate General in Davao to provide consular assistance and services to Chinese citizens in the region. Since the beginning of this year, the pandemic situation in Mindanao has fluctuated severely. The health and safety of Chinese compatriots are always a priority of the Consulate General. On the eve of the Spring Festival, in accordance with the arrangements of the Chinese government, the Consulate General distributed Spring Festival bags to overseas Chinese in the region to help them fight the pandemic. Each bag contained pandemic prevention materials and some New Year decorations in celebration of the Chinese New Year. Thanks to the joint efforts of relevant departments of the Chinese government, along with the Chinese diplomatic and consular missions in the Philippines and overseas Chinese communities around the country, the Chunmiao vaccination campaign was launched in the Philippines in the middle of this year. So far, this vaccination campaign has benefited Chinese nationals in the Philippines and provided strong support for the local defense line against COVID-19. At the same time, the Consulate General has gathered resources to help overseas Chinese communities and Chinese enterprises in the region replenish their inventory of anti-epidemic supplies and actively provided assistance to the infected compatriots and enterprise employees to seek medical treatment, and done our utmost to help Chinese citizens trapped by the pandemic to overcome their predicament. The year 2021 also witnesses a consular service innovation. After careful research into the local logistics service channels, the Consulate General has expanded its consular services into virtual spaces with the unified deployment of the Chinese Consular Services app, as mandated by China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The implementation of this online services platform has brought convenience to the Chinese compatriots in Mindanao, and at the same time, it has effectively reduced the risk of infection with the absence of unnecessary physical contact. In the future, the Consulate General will continue to improve its consular service and assistance capacity and actively build a new order of bilateral personal exchanges under the new normal. The Chinese Consulate General in Davao is with you.